Hello, this is part 4 of layout number 3 for your Bootstrap exercise. We're about to continue. So before we move on, I want you to make sure, just to show you, if you want to pause the video, take a look at this code. This is the first row in that first column with it. So if I looked at this over in the live server, it looks something like this at this time with it. So we have our navigation link, we have our Jumbotron, and then you have your first 4 column basically with it. And that's what you would put. And remember now, this has to span across in 12 columns with it, so you have left is about 8 with it as well. So just keeping that in mind as we move forward on this. This is where we are ending here with it. This is the horizontal. The class is DSM none right now with it. And over here this is the area that we are working with. And if you can see very fainted a small line, that's the horizontal rule line with it as well. So you have some links that's happening over here in your navigation with it as well. And that's what all this is laying out to be. With it. Eventually we want to get to this stage right here, so we want to make it looking like this with it. Alright, so this is the whole page. This is what you eventually want to work towards too. Alright, so this is where we're at right now, and we're still working on it. So let me come back over here, and if you could take a look at your find your below outside your div tag for me, this section right here. I want to explain that a little bit more with it. So inside of this, you can actually go in. We're going to open up another div tag. In here, we're going to use the div class of the column small. Instead of 4, we're going to use 8 right now with it as well. So I'm going to open up the div tag. Now I want to line up the same line as this one right here. You see this we're inside the first row basically still with it. And inside of this is we're still in the first row. The first 4 column is the first 4 columns with it, and the rest of it's going to be 8. All right, so it needs to be inside of this div here. So if I click on this div, I scroll down, and this is the div. So it's about right here. I'm going to go in. I want to put div. Or let me document this since we're doing this. So this is start of the next 8 column. Okay, so you know this is the column settings with it as well with it. So here, how do we do that? So you do your div tag with it, and in your div tag, as you started out, remember that class, instead of saying class, your column small 8, 4, you're going to use 8 with it, right? So you're going to do equal, double quotes, and you're going to come in column small. Let me use this right here, and then I want to change that 4 to an 8 with it. Come to the right of that, close that tag off, and then this is what it looks like right now with it. And inside of that we have, I want to put in some H2 tags so you can actually see. Let's do title, heading 1. Okay, come to the right of that, hit enter, and let's do a smaller one, H5, and we're going to do just a little bit more title, description, and you can give today's date. I don't care, just give it some fictional date. I'm going to say April. Today's Good Friday, so this is April the 10th. This weekend is Easter. Happy Easter, everyone. But so April the 10th. I just have one here. It's 2/20. All right. So the date says regardless. 5 years from now, you look at this date and this video is still good. So the date's arbitrary. Put today's date on there for me. Okay. So in here, you're gonna do the div class, and you're gonna put that image. Anytime we use the image with it, you're gonna use the faking class with it, and in that faking class with it, come to the right of that, you can close that, and you can just go in and you can put image or graphics goes here, something as a placeholder text with it. Alright, so later on you put your IMG in there as well. So P tag. So in your P tag, we're going to do some text with some sort of description to the above graphics. So if you have a piece of graphics that you're working with it, so let me just copy and paste this. As if, whatever it is that you're working on, if it's a banner, advertising, or if it's a layer exercise, you can give it some description like that, okay? Or I'm going to copy that, give that a little bit more. All these are just placeholder that I'm using as a point of discussion with that as well. So this is your first one, and once you find your first div with it, right, and you found you went in, you did column 8, and we want to repeat this section over here with it. So let me grab another section. Let's say you have another one. So I'm going to grab this content right here from here to here. Remember now, this is still containing the 8th column with it. So you paste that here with it. I change this to heading 2. Do whatever today's date, faking more of the stuff that you have with it. So this is wrapping up to the end of the container. That's what you have with it. So I want you to make sure you see this is that this is the closing of this class called column for the 8th column. This one is for the one that is closing for your class row. All right, and the one more is this one is the last div tag that you have is for your entire div container. So make sure you are outside of your div container. You're closing your div container with it. Hit enter, so it's between the closing of the body and the div. And it's here I want you to document, making sure that you know where your at is. This is, you could say, container ends here. Okay, so this is the ending of your container. Come to the right of that comment, hit enter. You're going to use another one. You're going to use the div. Remember that footer I was telling you about, the class with it, and you're going to use the Jumbotron text center, and this time this is the footer that you're going to use at the bottom. So you're going to use the style, and the style you can use the margin to put at the bottom, and you can give it a property of 0. Alright, come to the right of that, close that tag, hit enter, and in between that just use the footer like a paragraph P for just telling it footer. Alright, so this is your footer that comes in here with it. So this saves it because I said as a save with it. So this is coming out of your page with it, and this is what it looks like right now with it. Pause the video right here if you want to take a look at this entire code with it. Let me scroll up to the top. Okay, so this is what it looks like right here. This is the container where it begins. The container middle part, you go on to pause, and the container last part with it as well. Okay, so pause for me and take a look at it before you move on. In the meantime, I'm going to flip to your code. So this is what it looks like. Alright, so it's not perfect yet, but I want to make sure you have it. So we're approaching 10 minutes. I'm going to pause for a second and come back to this. Alright, so this concludes, wrap up the last of this video right here. So I want to stop the video right here.